All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Shem Kakadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that taught me this truth, and sincere peace, blessings, and salutations to your Akim across the four corners of the earth that are pushing this knowledge and truth and this sincerity. All right, it's the Brother Barzal from the GMS Arizona camp. And in this lesson, I want to go into this article. All right, this is from zerohedge.com. All right, which was published today, April 6th. As you see in the headline, it says Shanghai residents rebel as cases surge, lockdown extended indefinitely. So we'll read a little bit of the article and grab a few precepts because you people here in America, you're right now, you're really in a place of comfort and security, and you're being led to believe that this pandemic is over. You know, get back to celebrating your holidays, get back to traveling, take off your mask, and y'all think that this devil, all right, the so-called white man, which is Esau, Edom, according to the scriptures, is done with this pandemic, but it's far from over. You know, this C-19 is going nowhere. It's here to stay. And what we see going on over there in China is proof of that. You know, now we see that the cases are ticking up. Lockdowns are back in play. And this time around, people are rebelling and rising up. So, getting into the article, it says China's NHC reiterated its commitment to its dynamic zero-tolerance policy on Wednesday as local authorities in Shanghai confirmed the worst fears of the financial hub's approximately 26 million residents. What was initially introduced as a 9-day staggered lockdown has been extended indefinitely as a number of newly confirmed cases soared to a new record on Tuesday. All right. This devil locking you down and implementing all of these harsh, draconian measures is all a part of the gradualism towards a new world order, because this devil is planning on having full control over each and every living soul on this planet Earth when it's all said and done. So this is all exercises. This is all practice for this devil's NWO. It says authorities counted more than 13,000 new cases in Shanghai alone, more than half of the 20,000 plus new cases across the entire country. According to Bloomberg, these tallies have surpassed the toll from the early days of the pandemic when the virus was still raging in Wuhan. All right, so they hitting record highs. You know, they're hitting record highs right now, and it's not even close to what, you know, it was originally back in March of 2020. Even prior to that, I believe is when it was in Wuhan. It might have been in the late parts of 2019. Reading on, it says, to be sure, the surge in cases is partially a factor of the latest mass testing regime, but that hasn't stopped the CCP from imposing the most draconian lockdown since Wuhan. As we explained earlier, backing down would be an intolerable capitulation for President Xi and local authorities whose careers are now in jeopardy due to factors that are completely out of their control. Reading on, it says, following an unceasing torrent of scandals, including separating COVID-positive children from their parents, covering up nursing home deaths, and failing to address shortages of food and medicine, the population of Shanghai has reached its breaking point. All right, and this is literally prophecy in the scriptures being played out. But ultimately, the things that you're seeing that's happening there in Shanghai are going to be the things that you're going to see play out here in America, because the scriptures say so. The scriptures say that these things, all right, these type of plagues, these shortages, these famines, all right, these uproars, we're going to come in the last days. Ezra saw that. And we're going to read about it in the 15th chapter. It says, many have accused the CCP of violating its contract with the people. And in one particularly memorable scene, thousands of Shanghaiers took to their balconies to chant and protest in defiance of the CCP's lockdown strictures. And it says depictions of the truly dystopian scenes spread like wildfire on American social media. So let's see what this video says.
Well, Rosemary, the scale of this lockdown is just staggering. You've got 25 million residents in Shanghai locked in indefinitely. This is in China's most populous and cosmopolitan city, and people there, they're feeling helpless and frustrated, but much of the dissent is being censored. Numerous complaints online of people struggling to get daily essentials. Some even turned away from urgent medical care. Most of the social media videos shown in our story were wiped off the internet in China almost immediately after they were posted. Anger is reaching a boiling point in Shanghai. Chinese social media showing residents in lockdown protesting, chanting, "We want jobs, we want freedom." Hundreds in one Shanghai neighborhood broke out of confinement, pleading for affordable food. This resident confronts the police, yelling, "Why are we being starved?" Residents in another neighborhood crowded at the gate inside their compound, asking, "Why not put us all in prison? We've been locked in for 26 days anyway." Shanghai is now the center of China's worst crisis since the early days of the pandemic. Most of the city's 25 million residents are under strict lockdown, with no clear end in sight. Residents aren't even allowed to briefly step outside. CNN filmed this man walking in his apartment compound. He was immediately escorted back home. Social media shows children, even infants, separated from their families at a Shanghai hospital after testing positive for COVID-19. Isolated alone, crying. CNN cannot independently verify the images, but spoke to a mother who was separated from her 2-year-old daughter. The hospital later said in a statement that it was moving its pediatric ward to make more room for COVID patients. CNN spoke to the daughter of this man.
These devils ain't gonna play fair. You know, this is where you get Revelations 12 and 12, you know, because this devil is ready for his new world order. He's ready for the control. He sees the awakening of the Israelites across the four corners of the earth, and this devil is afraid. You know, this is where you get Revelations 12 and 12. Let's get that. Because we're living in these times. This when this devil can separate you from your family, and you have no control over that, can tell you when you can enter, and you know when you can enter a certain business, or when you can even open your business, or when you can leave your home. This is that wrath, all right, that's spoken about. When this devil is taking your children and snatching them out of your hands for a so-called, you know, we'll say pestilence that, you know, less than 1% of the population is passing away from, especially when you get down to toddlers and infants. They're not succumbing to this thing like that. You know, very few, but they'll take them away because of it. It's that devil, man, coming down with great wrath. This is, you know, him ultimately doing what he want to do with the people, flexing his control, flexing his muscle over the population of the people. Because that's some sick shit. You know, this is Revelations 12, verse 12. It says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time." And all of these politicians and these people in power like G and, you know, and Biden and all of these countries that are going to be doing similar things, they're all being directed by a hidden hand. You know, and you better believe it's Esau Edom that is in control of it all. That's the one that's giving the directives. You know, so the devil, which the devil goes back to the word deceiver. The deceiver is the so-called white man, all right, who is in control of the earth right now, pursuant to Job 9 and 24. And he's the one that's ultimately pushing all of these unrighteous decrees upon the people. Now, these devils are afraid from the awakening that they're seeing from the Israelites. standing up on their feet. And that's why they know that they have a short time. That's why they really pushing hard to, think to really close this thing out as far as securing the total control that they want over the earth. It says, as locals chanted from the balconies, government drones responded and warned them to retreat inside and not open their windows. Now, this sounds like something straight out of the movie The Purge. We're really living it. There's parts of the earth that are really living out the things that we see on the screen in these movies, these dystopian movies where society is completely collapsed. There's lawlessness, there's chaos in the streets. They're getting monitored by drones, telling them, that's and the people here in America are all settled on their leaves. They're all in a place of security and comfort, thinking this thing is over. But this devil ain't through with you, man. We're about to feel that great wrath that I just read about in Revelations. Check this out. Let's look at this video.
9名家园的居民朋友们，在疫情封控期间，请严格遵守市政府相关防疫规定，控制灵魂对自由的渴望，不要开窗歌唱。此行为有疫情传播的风险。
Control your soul's desire for freedom. Do not open the window or sing. Woo. Yeah, we coming into those times, but the elect, we have nothing to worry about or to be concerned with. Even if our children get separated from us, what do the scriptures tell us? I believe it's 2 Ezra, the 16th chapter. Give me a second. Let me see. Second address 2. All right, Second Ezra 2 and 26. It says, "As for the servants whom I have given thee, there shall not one of them perish, for I will require them from among thy number. Be not weary, for when the day of trouble and heaviness cometh," all right, which we're very close to those days. All right, as we're seeing these end time prophecies play out, all right, and be fulfilled, then we know we're getting closer and closer to the days of true heaviness and Jacob's trouble. It says, "For when the day of trouble and heaviness cometh, others shall weep and be sorrowful, but thou shalt be merry and have abundance." It says, "The heathen shall envy thee, but they shall be able to do nothing against thee, saith the Lord." So there's going to be a special protection, all right, that the Lord is going to provide to the elect, the true servants that believe in his name and his only begotten son, and that served him and did the will. All right, and it says, "My hand shall cover thee, so that thy children shall not see hell." All right. It says, "Be joyful, O thou mother, with thy children, for I will deliver thee, saith the Lord." So there you go. Our children are going to be protected, our families, our households, those that are truly serving the Lord in sincerity. We don't have to be worried about being subject to the shit that the wicked of our nation are going to be subject to, because they're going to be the ones whose children are getting snatched up and they're being separated. All right. They're going to be the ones that are going to see their children starving, because you saw how people were pleading for food. Say that they're running out of food, man. Like, why don't y'all just throw us in prison? Because y'all got us locked down like prisoners for the last 26 days, and they're being starved. This is why people are going to rise up, all right, against these governments. You better believe when they try to bring this type of shit to America full go, these Americans going to pick up them weapons, all right? because we spoiled here. They're going to pick up them weapons. They're going to fight back. This is 2 Esdras 15 and 15. It says, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and the one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. So their leaders, their presidents, their governors, their mayors, all right, their politicians, all right. They're not going to regard them and what they say anymore, because it's going to get that desperate out here. And once these people get hungry enough, or they get fed up enough, or miserable enough, they're not even going to care about their own lives, man. They're going to be so enraged with anger from the way that they're being treated that they're going to say, fuck it. And they're going to do whatever the hell they want to do, man. And they're going to be running up on these politicians trying to get their heads for all of the suffering that they're putting them through. So it says they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power, because they're going to be doing whatever they want to do. It says a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. And that goes into the control that these governments are going to try to push and implement. They're going to do it through their military might, setting up blockades, setting up checkpoints. These are all the things that comes under martial law that we've always been warning you people about. These things are about to come to the shores of America in a way that the people here in America has never seen before. It says, for because of their pride, and the city shall be troubled, and the houses shall be destroyed, and the men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Now, if those people that are in those high-rise buildings and they're on the balconies getting yelled at by them drones, they get starved out enough. You don't think they're going to go and sneak over into their neighbor's house, all right, and try to run up in their shit and take what they got? That's exactly what's going to happen. That's what these elites want. They want these people in these desperate situations, because they know that's going to bring out the animalistic mindset of you people. And that's going to lead to more chaos, which gives them the excuse to bring in more control. The solution, which is going to be their military. And it's all going to be under the protection or to reestablish some kind of peace amongst the people. All right, this is how this dirty ass devil, this is how he operate. Because he's been thinking up these plans for many, many years, and now he's putting them into play. Why? Because we living in the last days. He know his time is short. It's now or never. All right, Micah 2 verse 1, it says, woe to them that devise iniquity, all right, which is evil, which is, it says, and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hands. And this is what your elites, when they had these meetings, G7, Bilderberg group, all of these different summits, then they discuss these kind of topics. And then they after the discussion, then they go their separate ways, and they all go through the process of implementing their plans. And they've been doing this for many years. Everything we see that's playing out, these devils have planned. They had these certain events planned so they can implement certain unrighteous decrees and policies to move their ultimate goals forward. And they're really close, and that means that the great wrath is coming. When you see something like this going on, out there in China, because where did it all start to begin with? It all started out there in China, in Wuhan. And then next thing you know, a few months later, it was here in America. So don't be surprised if you don't see some new variant pop up that they, reignite the fear machine, the fear mongering on the media. And next thing you know, we back under a new round of lockdowns, because this devil is he's not going to let this thing go to waste. He's just going to switch it up, give it a little break, and come back even harder next time when he pushes that C-19. So with that, just wanted to share that information. Brothers, keep an eye on what's going on out there. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Shemi Shai, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and peace to the elect. Shalom.